original guru of good game. And I am your host, the original guru, Zero Game. So how's everybody doing today? Now, last episode, it was a very, very, very offensive episode. At least to me, it was offensive. The subject matter was extremely offensive to me. The topic was extremely offensive. And unfortunately, it's still offensive to me. I mean, I'm sorry, people. I got to go back to this one more time. I am seriously pissed. I mean, I'm really pissed off about this whole situation that I'm at the point I'm ready to get locked, loaded, head down to Georgia and start kicking in some ICE detention doors and setting people free. That is how pissed I am. In last week's episode, I discussed that ICE detention center in Irwin, Georgia was sterilizing female detainees. They were taking them in for supposedly routine procedures or, checkups, this, that, and other. And then they turning around and coming back and having hysterectomies done or their fallopian tubes removed and it's just, whoa, hold the fucking phone. Who gave you authorization to do this shit? Because most of these women, well, all of the women did not speak any English. And apparently the translator is not too good in Spanish. So it's kind of a disconnect in the communications, is that some of these women were saying that they did not fully understand what was being told to them and what was going to be the procedure done. One woman was told that she had a cyst on her uterine wall and it needed to be scraped off. She come back, dude took her whole fallopian tube. I mean, just how much foul can you get when you do some shit like that? And I'm sorry, I'm wondering, where is the religious right, the religious left, the religious middle? I don't give a shit where you at, but I'm wondering, where are all the religious folks at? Because I'm surprised that y'all not down there by the hundreds of thousands marching on this shit. I'm really surprised on that one. This is the ultimate form of abortion. You can't get any more abortive than that, to where you are aborting the baby before it even got conceived. That's my problem with this. Before she even had the option of saying, yeah, I'm going to keep the baby, no, I want to get an abortion or whatever, that option is surgically removed from her life forever. And I'm not seeing the outrage that should be outrage on this situation. I'm not seeing it. I don't know what's going on with you folks, man. I'm seriously, I'm not understanding why y'all not pissed off, why y'all not highly offended by this shit. I mean, I'm extremely offended. I got nieces. I got a daughter. I could not imagine. I just can't comprehend the fact that, say, my niece and daughter decide to go on a Tijuana trip and they head on down to Mexico. They get stopped at the border. They get arrested, stuck in a Mexican jail. And a doctor who barely speaks correct English tells them they need a checkup. Bring them back, talking about that we got to do a follow-up procedure or something, and then take out their entire uterus. And then 3 days later, pack them on a bus and deport their ass back here, knowing that damn well I ain't going to be able to go back down there and complain or get any kind of justice for what was done to me. It's just, hey, you got fucked, goodbye. That's where I'm at this point, as to why I'm so upset and why I'm not hearing enough from people complaining about this. I mean, I don't see why women is outraged by this shit and speaking up on it. Whether you pro-choice or pro-life, it doesn't make any damn difference. Both sides should be pissed off on this one. This should be the uniting factor between the pro-life and the pro-choice people right now. This should be the one thing to unify y'all, that y'all should be joining forces and going down to these ICE detention centers and demanding answers, and then go to these doctors and whoop their ass. Break his arms from the shoulder to the fingertips. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel, but that's me, you know, because somebody did this shit to my daughter or my niece. If they put your ass in a room, covered it in concrete, took that room, put you in a submarine, dropped your ass in the submarine at the bottom of the fucking ocean, I will still get your ass. That is how serious this shit is to me. I don't give a damn. I'm coming for your ass. That's just some evil shit to do. But it's all about them dollar bills, y'all. Y'all do realize that, right? That all this shit boils down to fucking money. It always do. Everything does. Always boil down to money. This might be a way of deterring the South American people from coming to America. And as they say, having anchor babies. You know, I really hate that fucking term, but this is what they use. And, you know, now we got this white supremacist movement going on that's gaining notice, popularity, or whatever the fuck. I mean, people are now starting to pay attention to them. Ain't like this is something new. They always been around, just nobody paid attention to them till now. But now that they being paid attention to, maybe it's time we start looking and realizing that it ain't the South Americans or the Africans or the Muslims or the Chinese or whoever the fuck coming to this country that's causing the grief and strife and all that shit. It might be these white supremacists causing all this headache and turmoil with they bullshit. Maybe that's something we need to start looking into as a society. I'm just saying, you know, it's getting a little bit too crazy out here, and it shouldn't be. It's supposed to be getting better, and it's getting worse. This Karen phenomenon is just really getting carried away. It's too much. Sit y'all asses down. Instead of going over there and harassing somebody in your neighborhood, won't you find out if do they actually live there? I mean, because the one where the gentleman was painting the Black Lives Matter on his sidewalk for his house, lived in the neighborhood for 10 years. He owned this house. 10 years he lived there. Not one time did anybody in that neighborhood bother to introduce themselves to him to realize he lived in that neighborhood. And as most black people who move into an all-white neighborhood, we tend to not go knocking on doors to introduce ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Go knock on the door to introduce yourself. They look through the keyhole. Some niggers at the door. Get the gun. Open up the door. It's a 12 gauge sitting in your damn face. Motherfucker panic and boom, blow your head off. Didn't mean to. Just scared. That's the reason why we don't come knock on your doors when we move in your neighborhood, because we scared of you just as much as you scared of us. You scared we gonna come down there and break in your house and rob you and fuck you and whatever. Shit, we sitting in the house scared the same damn thing. I just think that fear is being used as a control mechanism amongst our people, white and black. And they using that fear to control you. And always go back to the same thing, money. You keep the two sides fighting, you can sell them shit for centuries. And you can sell them that it's a good idea that they buy this garbage and crap from you because it's going to protect you from the other side, or it's better than what the other side got. Either way it go, that's how they playing you. So I'm going to leave that alone. I just had to go back to that issue. I'm sorry, because they sterilizing these women. Y'all got to think that this shit is wrong. And I'm thinking is, how long before it is that now that we got this conservative Supreme Court justice who want to overturn Roe versus Wade, if Roe versus Wade get turned over, how long will it be before they deem you unworthy to be a parent? Did y'all ever think about that, lady? If y'all lose the right to choose, how long will it be before they decide that you don't have any choice at all? Let's say you get caught up in something that say your boss did and it involves some fraud and some embezzlement, but because you signed your name and approved this and this, that, and the other, and you might have did it because you just thought he was such a good guy, even though it was kind of questionable, but you figured he knew what he was doing. That's why he's the boss. and then you end up going to jail for it because they found you guilty of, being just basically stupid. How long before it is when they sit there and judge you and say, you know what, you unfit to be a parent. You unfit to be a mother. So if you go to jail for any infraction that requires you to do, anywhere from, like say 30 days, then the state has the right to sterilize you because you're an unfit mother. What if they do that shit for every time a young girl gets CP called on her because she's a young girl and ain't nobody taught her how to be a mother? She's unfit to be a mother. We'll take her child and we'll sterilize her. Y'all keep on playing this bullshit, and the next thing you know, the Handmaid's Tale will become a fucking reality in this country. Maybe not to that degree, but it could end up as a reality in this country where you have no reproductive rights at all, which means men will be able to free to just rape you at will, get you impregnated, and you are required to have the child regardless. Emotional trauma, psychological trauma, make no difference what you gonna go through. It's all about the law. I just want y'all to keep that in mind, ladies, because this could be the next step in their game plan. It could be. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I got some kind of insider information, or I couldn't tell you if any of that shit is happening. I couldn't even tell you the reason why they doing this shit in the first place was to deter people from having anchor babies. I can't tell because I'm not in the government. I wasn't in the room when they came up with this plan. All I can do is look at the facts that is presented before us and make an evaluation and a judgment there simply by reading between the lines. Can tell you everything you need to know. You just got to open up your eyes and your mind to see it. That's it. That's all you got to do. But I would recommend that everybody take a look at this shit and think hard on it. Like I said, I do apologize for making a second episode on this because usually I try to keep the stuff fresh and move on, but I could not leave this one alone because this is just too heinous. Some serious satanic evil shit. And nobody seems to be saying nothing about it. They finally started mentioning it this morning on Morning Joe. They made a mention of it. CNN starting to make a few mentions of it. Had a couple of senators who spoke out on it. A couple of Congress people who spoke out on it. But that's it. There is no big investigation going into this practice and this program and why are these women missing their vaginas. Seriously. Y'all took everything out and just left the box it came in and didn't even kiss them and say thank you. Tell them they pretty. Give them a parting gift. Something to make them think that they ain't just fucking cattle. Because that's just how you treated them, like they was fucking cattle. And once again, how long, ladies, white, black, Asian, whatever the hell your nationality is, how long before these motherfuckers adopt that shit here in this country? I mean, we got two old wrinkly white men running for president anyway. Every time a lady runs for president, she don't never seem to get past the primary. So how long will it be before these motherfuckers incorporate that shit and start rounding y'all up by the thousands? How soon before it be, you too ugly to be a mother? Sterilizer. You too stupid to be a mother? Sterilizer. How long before them motherfuckers gonna start pushing that shit? You already got your white supremacists all down for that. They already raising their flag and got their military style gear on and guns. They all ready to put y'all in check. Because, only a pure white woman should be allowed to have children. How long before all the non-pure white women has to be sterilized so we can keep the purity of the race? Y'all don't see any of this shit coming, do you? Okay, well, I'm giving y'all a heads up right now. That was my heads up. And I hope y'all keep your heads up and your eyes open and your minds alert and pay attention to this shit because it may go down if you sleep on this. Don't sleep on it. So we going to end this episode and I hope you learned something. I hope you listen to something and I hope you want to speak something. And we want to say thank you for listening. We really